extraneous information that will be a distractor for second language learners. So for example, let's assume that there could be a problem in mathematics, which is the one I wanted to show you, that says Cherise was playing at Dart's game. And here's the scores that she got on the tournament. And it lists the score. And then what is the median? For an English language learner, which I actually advocate it should be for everybody, it will be read like this. It will be like this. It will be, below are the following numbers. What is the median? Because a second language learner is like Sharif, Dart, tournament, but it doesn't water down the concept. Because you just like, below are a set of numbers. Below are these numbers. What is the median? So, but there will be implications for second language learner because obviously the last domain of language to master is writing. It's the hardest to do. So imagine that for a second language learner. But there will be significant modification. I just want to point this one out, and then we'll leave and there. This sample, which this is the sample that I said comes from the appendix B. This is for 9th grade or 10th grade. This is one of the samples, test. Analyze how Abraham Lincoln, in his second inaugural address, examines the idea that led to the Civil War, paying particular attention to the order in which the points are made and how Lincoln introduces and develops his point and the connections that are drawn among them. That is one of the samples. They read the second inaugural address there. And the reason I wanted to show this is because people say, oh, but Jaime, a student who has background knowledge on the Civil War will do better. What do you think about that? Wow, you're probably the first group who almost unanimously says no. And it's true. No, actually, a student with great background knowledge on the Civil War might be a disadvantage because they might not focus on the second inaugural address and might start writing everything they know, which does not address this. And that, our highly gifted kids. We had Polaris, one of our school highly gifted in Denver. And they, in writing, when they got the prompt, they wrote beautifully, but did not write to the prompt. Because they're so creative. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing here. And I was having this argument. People say, oh, no, background knowledge is important. Of course it is important. But it is background knowledge more on the academic vocabulary. Because I said, I didn't go to school here. I did elementary, middle school, high school, and my bachelor in the Dominican Republic. So I didn't take U.S. history. I didn't take American history. So I said, are you saying that I couldn't do this if I'm given the second inaugural address? I said, no, you could do it. Why? Because I can read. This is not a science test, a social studies test. It is a reading and language art test. Okay? Yeah, last final comment. That's weird.
Earlier you said the word sweet.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, this really requires us to transform the way that we have been doing teaching and learning. When I talk about tweaks, is because if you talk about transformation, what you are telling teachers and principals, what you have been doing in the past has been a total waste, which is not the case. Guys, you've been working really hard. You've been making miracles happen for kids. And you don't want to overwhelm teachers and say, this is impossible. This is not doable. If your tax initiative doesn't pass, we can't do this. Yes, so tweak is much more palatable. There are, yes, but, and it's just because I don't have time. I have here the PowerPoint how I can show you one minor tweak, just one tweak, simple tweak. That simple tweak of taking a math problem from a textbook, makes it aligned to the Common Core. And in English language arts, I would say, take this passage. That's why we had this article. If we had time, I was going to show you how you can take this, if you're reading this, and cover 9 of the 10 standards and do it really well. So to show that, yes, it is a transformation, but it's not like everything we have been doing, we have to throw it away. That was my point. I will tell you, I'm going to wish you the very, very best. This journey is going to be very different. I'm in this too. I'm with you guys. I'm in the field dealing with much more greater challenges than you, but I will tell you, my teachers are so excited for the first time. They are excited, they can't wait. The greatest concern my teachers have and my principals is the digital divide, the cognitivity, the bandwidth, and not getting the infrastructure. They're now hopeful that with this goal of getting a device in front of every kid, that this will do it. But then, the major concern, and rightfully so, is what happens if there's no bandwidth. So that is the biggest concern. But other than that, the teachers say, thank God we're going to teach. Because I'm going to ask you this final question. Would you want your own kid to be assessed with this type of assessment or your current state assessment?
This one.
Why?
It's more authentic.
It's more authentic. And that's what we hear from teachers. So there will be bumps, but this is a great opportunity, and as educators, we need to seize it. You can always email me now because the standards are going to be the same. You can take and steal all our resources from everywhere. So even though we don't have money, you don't have money, we don't have money, but together, with our collective wisdom, we're going to make a difference for our kids. Thank you very much, and it's a great honor. Well, good morning, everyone. Oh, no, come on, guys. You can do better than that. Let's try that again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Much better. You took me back to my time when I was in the classroom and began my day by saying, good morning, boys and girls. And in unison, they would say, good morning, Mr. Aquino. And what a great way to start my day. I am delighted. To be here. I feel like when I walked in here, first I was told we were going to have table because I like to do a lot of interactive activity, but no worry, as a good teacher we have a backup plan. But I walk in here and I'm like, oh my God, I guess I'm here to preach the gospel of the Common Core. And then I saw this, and I said, the first thing I said, well, people who know me, I can't stand behind a podium. I need a lavalier because I am Latino. And I have to use my hands to be able to communicate effectively. So I'm so glad, and I can't stand up here. I need to be close to all of you. So I'm going to be just moving around. I feel really bad for Kelly, who is signing for me, because I'm going to be moving around. And as you know, as Cindy said, I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic. So if you're trying to detect whether this is a New York or an LA accent, no, this is a Dominican trying to speak English. So good luck, Kelly, in terms of doing that. But I am so happy to be here to talk about a topic that I'm really very passionate, which is the Common Core state standards and the assessment. And Cindy was saying that you're going to hear from experts. I'm not an expert. I'm not here to portray as an expert. I'm here to facilitate a conversation around the Common Core, share some of the experiences that I've had in helping other districts before I just facing, and maybe share some idea that we're thinking on how do we get ready. That's what I really want to do as I'm here. So here are our objectives, and I know you have my PowerPoint. I just want you to know from the get-go that some slides that I'm going to be showing are not in your PowerPoint. As you know, you're always tweaking your lesson plan to the last minute. And on the plane here, I was just making changes. So it doesn't matter, because I'll make sure that my entire PowerPoint stays here with Heather and Cindy, and they can distribute it to you in terms of that. So what I'm hoping today is that you will develop an understanding of the Common Core by relating the implementation of the work that you've been doing and the work that you will be needing to do. So there are some shifts, but you've been doing some great work. I mean, I look at your scores in reading, writing, and mathematics, and that's the area we're going to be talking. And, particularly in reading, you're doing pretty well. I'm eyeballing by all the grade. I would say you were close in the mid-70s in terms of proficiency rate on the state standards. And in writing, also doing well, math well. So you are doing some really great stuff. So I want to help you think about how can you just do some tweaks to take it to the next level and get ready for that. Then I want you to start thinking about what are the implications of these new assessments. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. And though we are in church, this is very different. I want you to feel free at any point to interrupt me and ask questions. Okay? Just raise your hand. I won't lose my flow. This is not my session. It is your session. And when Cindy was talking about the substitute, the setting constrained our learning. So feel free to interrupt me at any time. And we're going to be doing a lot of conversations among yourselves as well. So, first I want to start by very quickly turn to the person next to you, and what is one main question that you would like to be answered before the end of the 3 hours that we're here together? What do you want to know about the Common Core and the assessments? Okay, not enough time. That was just quick to get you started because you probably want your question to be answered. And I'm not going to go around, just a couple. If there's any key questions that you want me to make sure is addressed, you want to share, please raise your hand. All the way to the back. We have a microphone, but if you can use also your lunchroom, boys, while we get the microphone to you.
I want to know how they're different.
How they're different. Very good. I will answer that. It will be addressed. What is the difference between the standards? What else do you want to know? Yes?
How does this impact me?
How would it impact your school? That will be answered as well. Yes, sir.
Just concerned about English learners, that maybe this bar is far too high and hasn't taken into account their experience.
Okay. English learners and whether this bar is too high. This bar is too high for everyone. For everyone. But you make a really good point. If it's high for everyone, think about our English language learners and the impact that it will have, or any struggling reader for that matter. So yes, we will talk about that. Okay, so the last one.
I want to know about the rigor and how we might be able to address that, raise our rigor.
Okay, yes. So I will be talking also about the rigorous. It talks about the text complexity and some of the things that you can be doing. Okay, so hopefully all those questions will be addressed, but hold me accountable. Because if I don't, make sure that you pose those questions. Again, we will take a break sometime during the presentation, but please feel free to take care of yourself. Which means, that's a big norm for me, which means if you need to go to the facility, you just get up and do it. I don't want any accidents here. You don't have to wait for a break. Also, take care of your neighbor. So if we are on slide 10 and your neighbor's on slide 1, you might want to say, we're on slide 10. Help them, okay? So let's go on in terms of why I am so excited about the Common Core state standard. We are making history in this country. We're truly making history in this country. And this is a quote from Tom Friedman in his book, The World is Flat, when he talked about the launch of the internet, the Netscape, where he said that for the first time, we were no longer operating in silos. The internet allowed us to collaborate across the world. There was no boundary, as you know. So, and he called this an inflection point. The mother of all inflection point was the launch of the Netscape. I actually call that the Common Core state standards can become an inflection point for American public education. Why do I say that? Because for the first time in history, we will be able to collaborate across state boundaries. If not, why would you have brought me here? To talk about your state standards? No, but because the standards are going to be the same. So that's why I'm so excited. But let me share a little anecdote with you that highlights why I'm so passionate about the Common Core. As Cindy said, I was the chief economic officer for the Denver Public Schools. I want to acknowledge two folks from the Denver Public School, principals here who came also to learn. They're my groupies. They follow me all around. But one of the when I was in Denver and I left in the fall of 2008, actually, October of 2008, Nancy Mitchell, who was an education reporter for the then Rocky Mountain News, remember? Okay, and now the defunct Rocky Mountain News. So Nancy came and said, Jaime, I actually want to do an exit interview. I said, sure. When she came, I thought she really wanted to talk to me about the work that we had done in Denver. Because I think with Michael Ben and myself and the team, we actually did some really interesting things to garner national attention. But no, what she wanted to do actually was to talk to me about what I felt we needed to do in this country to improve public education. First, I was deeply honored because I was born and raised, I'm an immigrant. I'm an immigrant to this country, a second language learner who's still trying to learn English, and somebody's asking me what we need to do to fix it, regardless of where kids live. And how many are you from the elementary? Okay, most of you. So also in the high school and middle school, and I spent a lot of my career in the elementary as a teacher. I also taught middle school math, but most of it in the elementary. We will do anything to grab our students' attention. Anything. Even if it's making up stories. So, you don't know me. I just want to prove to you that what I just told you is not a made-up story. And I have evidence. Going to the Common Core, which talks about evidence. Here's that article that I wanted, that I was referring to. But obviously, I think you trust me. So the only reason I wanted to show you the article that appears is because I think that's such a GQ picture. Anytime I can show it, I will show it. But I digress. But seriously, this is how historic it is. That back in 2008, I didn't think that in this country we were going to have a set of common expectations across the United States. I think there's